If you think virtual assistants from the Philippines are only good for data entry, this interview with Mia will change that for you.
The deal was if you meet this number of sales per day, I'll endorse you to move up. So I exceeded those
Hmm.
number of sales. He loved me for the position because we got our deals from closing to 3 months to 3 weeks.
So this one was pretty interesting. Mia applied to Talented for one of our clients, and after reading through her resume, I had to hop on a call with her. I hardly even got through any of my questions because her background was so detailed. Look, I've been hiring from the Philippines since 2021 for my Amazon business, and if you're looking for someone to do boring, busy work, a VA like Mia is not for you. But if you need someone to solve problems and think like you do, this is the kind of talent you want on your side, the people you enjoy working with. So let's hop into this interview with Mia and see what real overseas talent looks like. I'd love for you to walk me through what your journey has been, because I saw you started off in customer support roles, as many Filipinos do, in like BPO, and then you've actually moved through quite a few different kinds of roles, and then most
Yeah.
recently in executive assistance. So I'd love for you to walk me through the journey in your eyes.
Yeah. So I think the journey would start from my application before I started college. So um, I think I'm that type of person that I like getting into a lot of things, and the commitment of having one position for life scared me. So like I didn't want to be stuck in one area, but of course college you have to decide on a course,
You got to pick
and
one, yeah.
just the idea, yeah, it just scared me because they were saying that, oh, the course that you start in college, that's going to be the direction of your life unless you're going to start a business. So those are very limited options. What if I want to venture
Yeah.
more? So I went with physical therapy, because I have an uncle who was a physical therapist and I do enjoy science. So I did get into that. And then when I graduated, I went directly into Anytime Fitness, which is still
Okay.
within the wellness
In Manila?
route, in Makati, but guess in Manila.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna go to that one, and the day passes were like way expensive, so I decided
It
not
is.
to. I
Oh, a
was at
trick about that. Yeah.
sorry, tell me the trick.
If you want to trick, for example, you're coming to the Philippines, even if it's just a couple hours ahead, call the branch first and say that you're going to inquire.
Really?
They're going to offer the free pass, so you don't have to pay for everything.
Okay.
So you just have to call ahead. Yep. So I continued with Anytime Fitness, and I was so lucky that the manager that I had was so trusting and so supportive. So I was just a fitness trainer, and he said, if you want to move up, uh, go explore the skills. And then with his support, I was promoted after 6 months. The deal was if you meet this number of sales per day, I'll endorse you to move up. So I exceeded those
Hmm.
number of sales because he was just asking for 3 per day. I was going for 6 and 10 a day because I was just so desperate. I wanted to move up. And then when I got that next position, he said that, I'll let you do what you want. I'll support you. I'm gonna support you. You don't need to ask for my permission. Just the goal is we need to meet this quota. We need to have a team led. So I did initiatives. We started programs at the gym, and of course, since it was company owned, meaning that the main branch of Anytime Fitness, it was owned by Anytime Fitness Asia. We had
Hmm.
to follow a specific type of protocol, which means anything that you do, you have to call the main office first. And he would say, no, go ahead, do it. If someone gets mad, I'll deal with them. I'll support you. I have your back, which he
Hmm.
has. And what happened was, 3 months into me being as a head coach, we actually reached $1 million club. Means we actually exceeded more than 1 million in sales, which was
For the
new
month?
for the month. Yeah. So it was
Wow.
because of that initiative, and the main CEO, Ryan Chill, he was the Australian that became the CEO of Anytime Fitness Asia that was handled Philippines.
Hmm.
He would come to our branch often because he would take pictures and he would post in the group and say, "Oh, these are the best practices. This is effective. So
Wow.
everyone else should follow the same." So those were like the pride moments of myself when I was working in Anytime Fitness because I got to explore more. Unfortunately, pandemic gyms had to close, and I had to find a way to maintain a stable income. And it was challenging because a lot of the jobs were looking for either you have to have an educational background on something or a full-on experience on something, which being in health than fitness training, it was a bit limited. So I kind of went on a splurge on online certifications. I went on
Hmm.
25 in 2 months, because I wanted
25
to,
certifications?
yeah.
Damn.
So I wanted to like keep learning certifications and webinars. I just wanted to learn, digest as much, and figure out from there what I wanted to do. That's when I started like applying, and then I think I loved being a VA because you get to wear many hats. So if you wanted to go into a new position, take the time to study it, take the time to learn it, and then um, you can delve into that industry. So I've been fortunate that majority, actually, if not all, of my clients have been very supportive. But once I got on board into the company, um, the first one was Brian. That was for the digital marketing agency. I started as uh, a video email specialist, which was I'll take videos and then invite people. So our market started from people who have Shopify accounts. So we would do the marketing for them. And he said,
Hmm.
"Oh, the regular email campaign is boring. It has to be the video because that would be more captivating." So I would record those videos and have them personalized for the leads, our leads. So after a while, we noticed that it wasn't as effective. So we shifted to realtors, and then he had me turn from a lead general person to uh, a video editor. Then he had me turn into project manager because he noticed that I had skills in managing people. So
Hmm.
I grew our team from three video editors to 10. I managed our
Wow.
dashboards. I was the one communicating with the client and then being the third person to delegate this to the team and help them with anything that they need and then do the quality checking before we send it back to the client. Um, Brian was very eccentric. He was very smart, but he liked delving into a lot of things too. So sometimes he would just give me random phone calls and say,
Hmm.
"Oh, I saw this ad. I saw this new coaching program. I think it's really good. Do some research, and we'll talk about it tomorrow." And we would do that, and then we would implement that process, and then it
Hmm.
would just keep going like that. Whenever he saw something amazing, he would give me a call. I'll do the research, and then we'll do the he was the ADS and I was the execution for it. So it was a good partnership from there. Then I got into a business coach. I It was a loop. The program was the leading coach for Australia. So his market was people who had coaching businesses, so life coaching, career coaching, Reiki, and he would teach them how to scale up their business for them to start earning six figures. So
Hmm.
I would help him manage his social media. I would um, do the engagement on his platforms. He had a Facebook group, so he would introduce me to the group, and I would like manage people and help them with their needs. He also, since he had onboarded clients, I would also help them in navigating the portals. So he taught me how to use ClickUp and some of the other softwares that he was using in managing everything. So that was my main task with him. So both of those clients have been with them for over 2 years before I went on to doing real estate. So I think that's when I had the breakthrough in terms of growth. I started
Hmm.
as a transactions coordinator, um, which was the first for the company because it was mainly being handled by the CEO. He was very honest that he had trust issues with it because it was like the make or break of the deal. If you're not going to do it properly, the deal is going to drop and the company's not going to make money. So transactions was dealing everything from a person's agreeing to buy or sell a property to actually closing the deal, which would typically take them 2 to 3 months just because of the back and forth with paperwork so that the title company, city department, realtors, and buyers or sellers that we were dealing with. So, and he didn't, since I was the first one, he didn't have an exact process in place. Everything was on in his mind. So I
Hmm.
had to shadow him a lot and learn the process, talk to the team, talk to the people who were the typical stakeholders, and then I narrowed down the process. I found a way to simplify it, and then put them down into paperwork, into SOPs. So I had that built in. I also made the video tutorials, just so when we onboard a new person, it would be easy for them to follow, since every 6 months, the title company or the city department would change their protocols. So we had to find a way for us to be constantly be updated with how we're doing things. So he loved me for the position because we got our deals from closing to 3 months to 3 weeks. So that was a big breakthrough. It means that we could turn over sales very quickly. So we kept doing that. And then he moved me over to construction. So same thing, I would learn everything in construction, put them down on paperwork, help hiring the next person, train that person in, and then move me to the next position. So he moved me 4 times. The last
Wow.
position was in recruitment.
Hmm.
So I did recruitment for the company. I recruited not just here in the Philippines. I onboarded as well in India, Pakistan, Honduras, and I grew the real estate team in Ohio. So those are a lot of
Wow.
platforms that I dealt with. And yep, again, doing the SOPs and doing the interviews and then moving it up to the hiring manager if it was a good fit with the person. And then I also had experience with customer service. It was a friend of mine who invited me and thought that if I would be interested for uh, to be endorsed for the position possibly, and I met with the CEO. We found that it was a good fit, so I helped them with that. So it was a real estate, no, not a real estate, sorry. It was a fashion uh, manufacturing and distributing company in uh, in Montreal in Canada.
Mm.
So their clients was artists who wanted to make their artworks into garments and for them to be able to do fashion runs. So I would communicate with the clients, give them a run through how the platform works, and give recommendations based on their needs and interests, and just help them navigate the platform and give recommendations on how they would be able to market and sell their products, which I helped build out the email templates because every day we were receiving from 100 to 200 emails, all with the same questions, just a minor tweaks. So I helped my friend in building the email templates, the SOPs, because we figured out that we were also going to be in charge with following up with the manufacturing team if there were late orders and for missing orders as well. We would coordinate with the courier. With the courier of the company. So we made sure that we're going to follow the process because it was for email inboxes, then there's a Facebook, TikTok, Instagram of the shop. So it was a lot of platforms we had to be on top of. And also Intercom, which was the messaging platform when you go to their website when you have that account. So we had to make sure that all of those were covered. So we had our shift spread out just so we would be able to cover the 24-hour shift.
Mm.
And then the most recent one was in healthcare. So I was an executive assistant slash admin for a psychologist that's based in Australia. So it's just us in the team, just the both of us. So I help her navigating through her day, managing her inbox, her calendar, um, and generating reports for her, writing up the report letters for the general practitioners, processing payment, and making sure that all compliances are checked because I understand that it's quite strict regarding insurance companies
Hmm.
in Australia. I think and anywhere else it's strict. So just helping her with all of that. So yeah, I
All
think that's
right.
it.
That was seemed well rehearsed. There's a lot to unpack there for sure. Okay, I have a couple questions off the bat.
Sure.
This one property company, property group, you worked with them for like 3 years, right?
Yes.
Why did that come to an end?
It was actually heartbreaking. I had, they had to let me go. So it was coming up on my um, my annual celebration of when I joined the company. So I
Hmm.
just got the increase, and then a week after I got an increase, the CEO talked to me and let me know that, hey, unfortunately we can't keep you anymore because the
Mm.
company didn't reach their budget for the previous year, so they had to let a couple of people go. So it already happened like starting the previous year. Every couple of months they would start to let people go, and since I was in the hiring department, it didn't make sense to hire more people because
Yeah.
we're not in a position they weren't in a position to add more people on board. So the HR department was actually dissolved, and the social media department had to be dissolved. They only maintained the acquisition team or the people who were doing the sales. So I'm still in good communication with that company. They contacted me a couple of months ago and gave me a short project, just like to help with the transition of like finding
Oh,
new
interesting.
work, just so like I wouldn't be completely um, out of work. I still communicate with them from time to time, just from updates. It's just a really bad situation in terms of financials with the company.
Yeah, I understand. So I noticed a lot of these are kind of overlapping, like the time frames. It's not like you just went from one to the other. Is that because these are
Yeah.
all part-time, or were you taking on multiple at once?
To be honest, I was taking multiple at once at a certain period. I was
Wow.
transparent with my clients as well when
Oh,
during
you
this
were? Okay.
period. Yeah. So I tell them I don't onboard a client without disclosing it because I wanted them to be comfortable with it as well. So
You're
they
not
were
just telling me
aware.
that, right? You actually were
Yeah,
transparent about that?
yeah, they know, they know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So I let them know about it, and I asked if it's okay. And as long as it's a different industry and
Mm.
it's different time, and I'm not going to lapse in terms of performance, they were fine with it. That's why I still moved up the company, even though during the overlaps. I stopped doing that because personally, it was just a period that I was the main breadwinner. My younger brother was finishing college, then my mom got sick for that year. She had two major operations within 6 months.
Wow.
So like I had to carry the majority of the load during that time. But don't worry, things are better. It's been good for the past over a year now. My brother's working, my mom's feeling better. So like
Wonderful.
I'm looking for a position where I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, that was gonna be what I was gonna talk about next was, most, if not all the clients that we work with are looking for someone who's gonna be, like, fully, like, emotionally, energy, mindset dedicated to
Yeah,
them, also, obviously, the time, but, like, mentally
exactly.
dedicated to their team, so that would be, like, a non-negotiable that we'd be looking for. So is that something you'd be comfortable with?
Yes, actually that's the only thing I'm looking for right now.
Okay, good. I'm sure that was pretty difficult on you to be doing juggling multiple stuff, right?
Yeah, the stress and of course you have to keep a lot when you log out from one shift, you have to like transform yourself to be fitting for the next position. So
Yeah.
it was difficult.
Well, I'm a proponent of longevity, so I want someone to be able to stay with our clients for the long term, and I think that
Yeah.
could lead to short-term issues. So that's great to hear. Can you tell me a little bit more about this clinic with the mental care clinic role? What did your day look like with them?
So I would log in and I would manage her inbox. I would manage her calendar, follow up on appointments. That was like the Monday task, making sure that everything was checked in for that day. So she'll be able to log in and do her clients. I would
Mhm.
process the payments, check in who were due for GP reports, or if if you're doing a Medicare rebate, the mental health plan is they're going to give you an initial 6 sessions. When you completed that, you have to go back to your GP, which means the psychologist has to write up a report, and then for them to get the new referral for succeeding 4 sessions, that would be included in the mental health plan. That would be like the rebate for that year. So I had to be on top of those reports just to make sure that everyone will be able to claim for Medicare rebate or insurance rebate. I would take in calls, for new clients. I coordinated with insurance companies because sometimes a client would just call and say, "Hey, this is my insurance company. Can you check in if I am eligible for any type of coverage?" So I would try to
Mhm.
communicate with their case manager, requirements for us to be able to figure out if they're going to be covered or not, and then help them with some of the paperwork. So like that would be
Okay.
the typical day.
Yeah, so a lot of admin stuff.
Yeah,
When that one came to an end last month,
last month, yes.
how come for that one?
We wanted to keep going, but it was actually part-time. So I asked her starting last year if we could move over to full-time.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, since it is a private practice, she's the only one there. She can only take a number of clients per day, to not tire herself out, which is I completely understand, which means she wasn't in a position to have someone on board for full-time. So I gave her a heads up that, hey, I'm really looking for something full-time right now since
Hmm.
I have lost a client. Would it be okay for me to start looking? And she said she's fine. I'm actually still helping her out. She onboarded a new person, but that new person is still needing some assistance every now and then. So I get some phone calls sometimes from that new person just asking, where do we keep this? How do we
Yeah.
do this? Just like some assistance.
Well, that's great. I love to hear that you have a great relationship with your past clients, and it sounds like you're very rational in your interactions with them. So that's great to hear.
Yeah.
In some of your recent roles, it could be from that one or maybe from the property one. What do you think's been a time when you've done something that was like above your expectations, something that really impressed your client where they're like, wow, I can't believe you took the time to do that.
I think for the real estate one, we initially, since it was just the CEO handling transactions, he was doing everything off of Excel, which he
Mhm.
was the only one who had access to, unfortunately. So when he shared it to me, I noticed like how unorganized it was. I asked, what's the next step for this? And he said he heard from another company that they were using Podio, which is a CRM that was majorly used for real estate because of like how you can mold it to your needs.
Hmm.
So I said, okay, let me do some research. I met with the Podio team. I had a one-on-one call with them. They gave me how it works, and then I talked to this about the team. They let me have the free account first, and then we went to a paid version. And then I put the transactions process into this, which means we had the task, we use it for as a CRM for our properties. I had the template for the tasks that we were doing, and like for each stage, what tasks were like under this, and we were able to pull up reports in terms of the completion rate for each property per time and set specific deadlines. So I learned to code. I don't have a background in
What?
coding, but I learned to code to complete that project because there was
What
some
were you
automation
coding?
ways. I think it was mainly HTML and some
Okay.
JavaScript in there. So it wasn't major, but like it was I found it to be challenging because I had no background in it. So I had to like do a lot of self-study and see like how other companies were using it, because of just like how like mendable how moldable it was. It was amazing. But just since it was so bare at the beginning, uh, it was kind of overwhelming.
Hmm.
So I found a way to make the dashboard clean for us to be able to view it. And what was amazing about it is you can use it on your phone, which was handy for the realtor that was going to other properties. So he doesn't have to send me a written contract whenever we had a new property come in because his handwriting wasn't very good. He had just to fill out the form through Podio. So that was the thing that was like the breakthrough because I got a good a good bonus when that launched,
Yeah.
and they're still using that very same framework today.
Wow. So you basically just implemented a CRM for them. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna be wrapping it up here with just a couple final questions, just to let you
yeah.
know. I have another meeting to get to, but my next question for you is, what do you see for yourself in the next couple of years? What's your
So
vision?
yep, I wanted to explore more in terms of what else I can do. So I wanted to find an industry and be able to like stay there to like really master it.
Mhm.
So, yep, I wanted to have like a long relationship again with the clients. So all of my clients are like long term.
Yeah.
I wanted to have that type of relationship again, and I wanted to grow with the company. So I really enjoyed it when I was a part of startups and I was part of like from the ground up and be help with the processes. I like building things. So for me to have an opportunity to have like that of relationship again would be amazing.
Could you see yourself in a leadership role?
Yes, definitely. So I've been a part of leadership roles in the past. I enjoyed it. I love being able to share what I learned and seeing them being successful in that position. So being able to have that same opportunity again would be amazing too.
Mia, thank you so much for your time. It was really great to talk to you. I'll be sending this interview and your info off to the client, see if they want to schedule a follow-up with you. I really appreciate your time. Are there any quick questions you have for me before I go?
Yeah, I wanted to understand what was the direction that Talented is going through.
What do you mean?
So I understand it's fairly new, but I'm amazed like how the progress it has been for the company
Thank you.
for the past few years. I love the relationship you have with the clients that you're onboarding. I wanted to just understand like uh, what in terms of growth, what are your plans for Talented?
Just to help connect more great talent from the Philippines with people in the US, because I think there's a large stigma around like virtual assistants being, that's why I
Yeah,
don't really use the term, but you kind of have to sometimes.
yeah.
Um, but just trying to bring more people the great experiences that I have and doing that over and over again, more and more every month.
All right, that sounds amazing. Okay, you just sold me. Actually, just you showing up for the call because it's typically another person, another hiring person. It's
Yeah, well, I
the
like to be
CEO's
involved in it
name.
for now since we're pretty new.
Yeah.
All right, I got
Okay.
to head on me. I really appreciate your time, though. Have a wonderful day.
You too. You too. Thank you so much.
See you.
Bye.
All right, so that was my full interview with Mia. I couldn't get through all my questions, like I said at the beginning, because her background was so detailed, but hopefully this gives you a good idea for the kind of talent you can find in the Philippines. If you want your own Mia, my LinkedIn is in the link in the description. And if you like this video, here's another one I think you'll like too. See you soon.